shit.
Oh man.
All right, what's up, everybody? How's it going? We're here live on Marvel Live. So right now we're kind of going through a little bit of problems. I mean, not necessarily me, but Hayden is. He's sick out with strep, so I'm gonna be hosting. This is Seif here, and we have a great show for you today. One of my favorite people is here as a special guest. And also for those who are wondering about the last episode we had with I Heart Justice, which was absolutely awesome. Shoutouts to Javier for coming on last 2 weeks ago. We finally got that uploaded. We had some technical difficulties trying to get that up, but it's up there now, and you can go ahead and check that out and get to know the man behind the plan, the lawyer, expert at work. But anyway, we have, that's then, this is now, and we're here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just like run through who we have. We have our full cast today, So what's up? I'm gonna just go ahead and say, Raid, what's up, man? You here?
Hi, what's up? How are you guys?
Marcus, you want to say
Hey.
hey? And Kyle, what's up, dude?
What's good, everyone?
All right. So I'm really excited about our guest. We've been kind of shifting our approach for guests. We want to try and showcase a lot more of our community as a whole because it's ridiculous, and a lot of these players don't necessarily get the opportunity to really speak back to to the community, and we're trying to give them an opportunity just to hear what they're all about. And off of his most recent Civil War win, we have the one and only Staticalpha. What's up, dude?
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Now, once again, Staticalpha just coming off his recent win of Civil War. He hasn't been necessarily the most consistent as far as traveling out to places, but when he does show up, he shows up huge, placing third at final round this past year, upsetting a lot of people, slaying zeros left and right. It's pretty awesome to watch. He's one of my favorite players to watch, and I'm really excited to have him here on the stream. So I just want to go ahead and kick it off to you, dude. I think a lot of people want to know just kind of like your origin story. Like, how did you get your start playing fighting games? What's your, what was your into the FGC, your tag even? Go ahead.
Well, fighting games. Let's see. I've been playing games probably since I was, 8, 9 years old. My dad, my brother were actually really into like video games. My dad's an electronics engineer, actually. So we spent a lot of time like doing computer work and stuff and hanging out with him. And we got our Nintendo, kind of was screwing around with that. As far as fighting games go, like Street Fighter 2, arcade. I was an arcade rat when I was a little kid. First time I ever saw Ryu through a fireball pretty much had me mesmerized. I didn't understand. I was like, how do you do this? I have to do this. And this is at a grocery store down the road from the house. So I used to go there and like take my mom's little quarters and go play. And my brother used to bring his friends to the house, and he's like 7 years older than me. So I beat up all his little high school buddies, and I was all little, and I wasn't supposed to be able to do that. I don't know, man. It's been like a kind of a walk ever since. Marvel, like, funny thing about Marvel, I hated Marvel when I first saw the game. I hated it because it was so unfair. And I got to give shouts to Robbie Hale, a guy here in Louisville, who basically begged me to play Marvel too. And he was like, pick a character. You got to pick a character. Just anybody. And it can't be anybody good because I've seen Magneto, I've seen Sentinel and all that. So I chose Colossus because I thought he was hideous. But so I chose Colossus, and he was like, we're going to learn a combo with Colossus. It does like 70. And I'm like, if that's a thing, I'll play this game. So then he picked Thanos, and he did sweep, elbow into the Thanos bubble, launch, jump heavy into super, and it did like 90. And I was like, okay, this is the game. This is the game right here. So I played Colossus, Kin, Thanos. That was my first team.
That is ugly.
It's terrible. But yeah, it was fun, man. Like I didn't want to get into it because it just seemed kind of crazy. And it was like, the further I played it, the more I kind of realized that like in its craziness, that's what made it so awesome.
Yeah.
So the game just kept getting like crazier and crazier. And every time I would see something happen, even if it was being done to me, it was just funny. And all it made you do is like want to go do it. It was like, I got to do that,
I love how that describes literally every versus game.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you see something, you're just like, well, that's dumb, but like that was kind of tight though. You know,
Yeah, there's always that initial salt where it's kind of like, man, I can't believe this is the game, and then it just you start to hydrate a little bit with the knowledge, and you're like, okay, no, this is kind of crazy. I gotta figure this out.
Because you can do the same. Like what people do to you can do to them.
oh yeah, totally do it back. And he was like, if you're gonna play high tier, you can't play this Colossus Thanos skin stuff. So if you're gonna play, if you gotta play something good, like he said, play Tron. Tron's broken. Just play Tron. And I'm like, okay. So I played Magneto Storm Tron, and all I did was like call Tron and like try dash on top of everybody. And the damage unscaling was just absurd, so it worked out for me. But like going into Marvel 3, like there wasn't like a Tron Bon assist or like a Psylocke assist, so I didn't really know what to do. So I started out playing, my team in vanilla was Zero, Chun-Li, Amy, I think. That was my little team, and I didn't take it seriously. I just kind of hung out and played, and I saw a kid here in Louisville playing Sea Viper, and he didn't know like staircase loops or any of that stuff. He just, the way he moved her around, and she had that quick like up-down light and stuff, and I was just like, oh, that's like Magneto from Marvel 2. So I'm going to do that. And then I was obsessed with Rocket Raccoon, so I was like, he's got the little Spitfire bubbles, which is kind of like Thanos, so I'll call that, and then just run in and see what I can do real quick on somebody. And yeah, I lost for 2 years. And they said switch to Doom, and I switched to Doom, and it hasn't been right ever since.
Okay, I was gonna ask what prompted the change because I remember you back in your raccoon days.
Yeah. I remember playing him at what was it, King of Blade maybe?
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever played you, and I think somebody was like, yo, watch out for this guy. I think they said that to you, and then I remember me and you played, and it was, I think I won 3-1 or 3-2 or something, but I remember you were like, yo, this Taskmaster cross-up, like, how do you do that?
Oh, dude. I'll never forget that. Like, I left that tournament scratched in my head because I was like in the corner, and all I was doing was blocking. I didn't hit any buttons, I didn't do anything, and all I heard was shield skills, and I died. And I still like was like, I don't understand. Like, how did that hit me in the corner? Like,
that's that, like you see that cheap stuff, and then you can't even be mad. So there's that right there. So.
It was the last round. He didn't do it the whole time. Last round, he was like bodied. I'm like, yeah. What are you gonna do, Marvel?
For sure. So, okay, I have a question for you.
What's up?
What was your first competitive game? Was it Marvel 3?
No. My first like serious like competition game was Soul Calibur 2, actually.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't always play under this name. I played under the name Shanghua Neo when I first started playing. So as a Soul Calibur 2 player, I played Shanghua all day, every day. And then I switched to Taki, played that for a while, and then got into Tekken 4 was like the next one that I played all the time. But Tekken 4 was like, I don't know, that was the game that we traveled and played a bit. And then I didn't really start traveling trying to play again until Ultimate Marvel 3. So,
okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So you've been around playing fighting games for a really long time, it seems. I mean, compared to me, I'm an 09er. You know, like I won't, like I'll say it. You know, but
Street Fighter 4.
I mean, I didn't even like you could say I'm 2010 because I didn't even try and mess with stuff till Marvel came out. But point being is that you've been around your scene for a while, but your scene necessarily isn't the most populated amongst players, and yet you got to such a crazy level in like a short amount of time. Like, I just want to ask you, what did you do? What did you kind of go through to get better at the game?
Well, I guess it would be a safe bet to give a shout out to somebody who's actually on this show, or as a coordinator on this show. He's kind of a bad lad. So I'm going to give shout outs to Kinder Party here on this. We played, and I didn't quite understand like how to view the game correctly. And I played like I won all the time because I played people around here that don't like really see it. And he came down and kind of like beat the crap out of me, like on more than one occasion. And it just made me want to get better. So then like I would think about it and try to go back, and then I would go up to Lexington and like show him what I learned, you know, and I'd beat his butt that time. And then he'd come back and he'd roll me the next time. So that's how it started. Like just having somebody that like you looked up to as a player you felt like was really good and gave you a reason to push, you know, like find a benchmark that's like reachable and try and kind of go for that. And then once I learned how to beat Dad there, which took long enough, but once I learned how to beat Dad, I ran into a guy by the name of Remy Martin, and he actually.
Oh my god.
He's like the filthiest dude in the world. People don't know, but Remy's the god.
I feel like people should know, yeah, but he's
Dude.
the dude.
We all know, like you're
Yeah,
preaching to the
Remy's
choir
cool.
here because that Remy was basically like the you for us, basically. Like he latched onto our scene, and then we got him to a point. Then him and Zay were playing against each other all the time. Then I know they started traveling up to you. So in the South, we all know what those guys are capable of, and I feel like we're a little bit less cohesive than less, so we don't necessarily get the shine that some of the players should be getting. But I think people by now should know about Remy. Because Remy, he's a personality. Even if you don't play him, like just talking with him and everything, he's a unique person.
That boy in casuals, that's something else. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'd also want to give a shout here, and this is another person on this chat, because I think everybody kind of has a person that like opens the mind of how you view the game. Like for me, Hayden was my starting point. He was the person that showed me what to do and why not, what things not to do and why not to do them. And then once I got that aspect, and Hayden wasn't playing like crazy top tier, so then it became like, how do you deal with Magneto? And then Remy was kind of like, okay, well, this is how you, maneuver the characters in this situation. But that wouldn't have happened for him if it wasn't for Seif. So it's kind of interesting how like, a guy can go like, because I know it goes back to like Atlanta and like their whole scene, because Seif was there. And then obviously that Sammy, who I've heard about, he's like a unicorn. I've never played him, but I've heard about him like nonstop. Apparently he's like the truth too. But he apparently opened.
Yeah, he's the one that taught me. He's a Smash player. And for those who don't know, Sammy is the Melee player, Drugged Fox, who currently is doing crazy amounts of work on the professional Melee scene. So this dude is not a slouch at all. Like, Melee is one of the hardest games competitive out right now. And that's just goes to show that was the type of person that was kind of like preaching, fighting game knowledge to a lot of the Atlanta scene. And then from there, since, sharing is what we wanted to do, we just kept passing on the info, passing on the knowledge, and it's kind of beautiful how it all turned out. Like, I remember last time I played you, dude, like you kind of beat my ass for like the first time, and I was like, dude, what a time to be alive. I like, not to say I didn't expect it, because like I see the amount of work you've been putting in tournament, but it's just cool to see everybody has their own sort of like inflection point of really understanding the game and how they express themselves within it. And you've definitely hit that stride. So like it's cool to see. And I'm glad that you kind of, you're giving shout outs to, all the history that went onto it. Because we've been doing, it's a long time and a lot of energy that went into like us kind of getting better.
Oh, the traveling, man, it's everything. Like I remember Remy and I got in the car to go down to Florida for a day and a half, which for me is an 11-hour drive. That's pretty awful in terms of how far it is. But it was just like, okay, we're going to go down to Florida because it's going to be me and Jan and Merkel and potato salad and Zay and full schedule and mix up. Schultz. Oh my God. Like that room, there was so much talent in that room. So being there.
That session was so hype.
Whew, those 2 days, like that was everything. You come back and like some of the dudes that I was playing with around here, that like we were kind of going even. We sat down, and that was after being gone for a day and a half. I came back and played the same guy that I was playing before I left in first to 20, and I beat him 20-0. And he's just like, "What happened?" I was like, "Dude, you should have been in the car." Like I wouldn't be getting in the car because I was like, I didn't know squat about Doom. Remy's like, "Get in the car and learn this," and I'm like, "All right." So I left, and yes, I don't know, man. Like, there's all kinds of players out there, like. People that don't travel all the time, that have so much they can show you, or like so many different tricks that you can see that you will never have seen anywhere else. Just because like this person's been sitting in a cave and they're like, by the way, I've got this crazy Virgil crap that no one's ever seen. Like it's silly, man. Like there's like a family out there that you can totally like go and be a part of and experience, which is just great. Absolutely. It makes it fun and a lot easier to get better,
Yeah, that's like the environment. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah.
Touching on that subject, out of everybody that you've played in your entire career of Marvel, who is your favorite player and who's your least favorite player?
Oh my God.
So play against, you're saying?
Yeah, to play against.
Like in general, who's my
General.
favorite? My favorite player to fight, period, I would have to say is Ricky Walker.
Woo!
Oh,
Shout out to Ricky
Which
Walker.
one? Which one?
Ricky Walker from Florida. It's the other Viper that I played at final round. Playing with him is just, I feel like we're just playing this giant game of chicken. Like who wants to use like focus and EX Seismo, and the pace is like crazy fast. So I love playing it. Like I absolutely love playing it because he does not care because he doesn't want to respect me. And like I feel like he's good, so I have to respect him, but at the same time, I don't want to respect him. So like there's this huge like mental battle that happens when we play. But like it's just mad fun. Least favorite though. I don't know. I don't know who the least favorite is. Oh yeah, I do. Yes, I do. My least favorite player to fight in Marvel 3 is Kane Blue River. I hate it.
oh,
I hate it.
I feel
saw
like
that coming.
I hate it.
I feel like a lot of people can't relate
Oh.
to you right now.
Because he can just do whatever and it's fine. And being a person like a Viper player, like you get used to the whole like zone with Seismo eye laser pressure. And then Kane he doesn't care. He just calls Sentinel and just charges through it. And if it doesn't work out, he just goes backward. And you're like, well, I didn't get hurt, but he didn't get hurt either. Problem is, he has like over a mil health, and X Factor isn't a big deal to him because he's going to kill everybody on my team on one touch anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he just YOLO gamma charge whatever he wants, and if something touches, everybody dies. And the incoming, I love you, Kane, as an individual, but your incoming is bonkers. It makes me sick. I can't stand it. Because it doesn't look different. It's just he does it, and you're like, well, I guess I'll just pray. And you pray, and it doesn't matter because I guess he doesn't listen to me when I pray about that.
Do you rather?
So,
do you rather play? Okay, would you rather play KBR or Cloud 805?
Ooh, Cloud. I'd honestly rather.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't mind Zero. Zero doesn't bother me. Like he just
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't bother me.
I have another question. So you got top 3 at final round earlier this year, which was a surprise for many people that haven't been keeping up with the Midwest scene. I remember a specific match where Justin Wong beat you, and he took off his glasses, and you perfect him. The next match. What was going through your head when he was like Sildo popping off like that?
When I saw it, because like at first I was kind of like, well, it's just Justin being Justin. I mean, the dude is like, he's the Marvel god. Like, if there is a god of Marvel, he's that dude. So like, as much as it like, it's like I've played him before, and I know he has respect for me because he's talked and said good things about me before. But getting ran over by Wolverine is just kind of like, I don't know, like it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's kind of like if he gets in there, and you have all those tools to keep him out, and he still finds a way in, it's kind of on you.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah, Justin is extremely smart and he's very, very patient. So the fact that I let him in and just run amok on me is like, it's frustrating. So I started thinking like, I've got to do something about Akuma because he seems to think that as soon as Akuma's called, he can just rush at me. So I focused and I EX size mode and I hit both characters. So I was like, oh, great. So I went in and I did my business. And then thinking about like Storm, like by herself, she's really not that big a problem. And Justin's not really trying to fight you with her anyway. So I just thought like, if I get the mix up, then it's a wrap. And I got the mix up and it was like, I almost perfected him. And when it happened, I thought like, at that moment, I thought, man, it'd be so great if I was wearing glasses.
So you can do the same. Yeah.
I was like, man, if I was wearing glasses, I would have done it. I would have been like, but it just didn't happen. I did send him a picture of me wearing glasses and pulling him down and looking at him with those bedroom eyes, to let him know. And apparently it went all around after he did it. Somebody actually said, and I think it was Sam, I wish she was here so we could talk to her about this, but she, I guess she thought that I like rushed around and tried to catch him off guard or something. That was something that was mentioned on the stream, like when it happened. And I was just like, dude, after I saw him doing that, I immediately looked away from him because I didn't want to get frustrated. So I said something because I think either Remy or somebody was next to me and I was talking to them about it or whatever. And I went into the next round. I wasn't even looking at Justin. Like I didn't know, but apparently he had to get situated and then he almost got perfected. So if I did anything right that tournament, it was showing everybody that Justin Wong is human. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was definitely a really high moment. I
And then
was there, and the crowd just went nuts. So that
yeah,
was
and then
fun.
he went on to win. So I mean, whatever. But still, it was nice to just not just beat him, but like beat him. You know what I
Yo,
mean?
but you got top three at final round. Like
Oh yeah, I'm believe me, I'm totally happy. Like,
that's one of the three majors that really matter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
it was real cool. Like I didn't go into it thinking that I was gonna be, at that level or playing those dudes at that time. I just kind of was going to have fun, and I thought like, well, whatever happens, happens. And I kept thinking like, I've got PZ Poi, I've got Flux, I've got Ricky Walker, I've got all these people that are just kind of like in the way, and I never know how that stuff is gonna go. And I think about the finals, like when I was playing, top 32, top 16. Out of all those players, like I would love to play Chris again. Like I would love to. Like I was so scared of Virgil, that I just got chipped out by Morgan to death. Like even though I was snapping Virgil and kill him, he'd X Factor against Morgan and just chip me out. Not to say that I think I could beat him, but I feel like I could make that like a more formidable match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I just would like to play him again. Like I
can
never get that
relate.
opportunity.
I know that feel.
Yeah, he's just I don't know. He's so good. God, he's so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, anybody have any other questions for Static within here? I know
Yeah.
that we had. Okay, go ahead.
I'll throw my quick one. So it's a more of a personal theory of mine, but I feel like people that are musical in their other pastimes tend to do better at Marvel. I'm curious whether or not you think having that rhythmic mindset. Thanks,
Well,
typing.
I mean, I feel like and this is something I've noticed just in other games or in video gaming in general. It seems like people that are more musically inclined and they have like the proper, I guess, like coordination, just like outside of the game, they tend to have an easier time doing certain things. And like, if you notice, like, it's kind of weird because I guess it's like the people that I know that are musically inclined or that have like a really good sense of like rhythm or execution, like they play characters that kind of complement that. And I think as a result of that, you don't see a lot of, I don't think you see like a ton of bad Viper. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's like people that are going to play her that are like not good with her, if that makes sense. Like she's too technical of a character to really be like super sloppy with. So I think like having that rhythm mindset, especially like doing things like infinites or, things like that require like precise timing, I think it helps. I mean, I couldn't say that I think it hurts. But I don't know. It seems like the people that I know that are really into music and stuff that play video games, like the coordination is like out of the world. So the execution barrier like isn't as big a thing for them. But I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
No, I mean, I feel like it is, and that's why this anytime I run across somebody that I do know spends a lot of time in their free time doing music related stuff, I kind of just ask their opinion on it. So
Yeah. I think the execution matters there.
A big thing is, music really trains hand-eye coordination. That's what we're doing with fighting games too. Like making sure that what we're thinking up in our head is what's coming out in our hands. That's sort of like the whole purpose, expressing our thoughts. So like having prior experience in music, like there are a bunch, like so many good players that have a music background. Like Marlon Pye, has been known to play piano at a pretty high level. Fanatics been a musician in his previous time. I even remember like Roach King was part of like the all national or like all state wind ensemble or whatever for clarinet of all things. Like there are a lot of people who play music that definitely kind of lend that sort of hand-eye coordination, like training and development, and they gain a lot of maybe not like an edge, but it definitely helps. I think just more so to kind of like get your mindset together on how to like execute on things that require
it's
hand-eye
like the
coordination.
practice regimen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going to show as far as being like an important factor of how people play. Like it's how you practice. And with music, like if you're serious about it, you have to have that strict practice regimen. When you go to do something or something that's difficult, you practice that section until you get it right over and over again, and it becomes second nature. So building muscle memory isn't as hard.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. Well, with all that said, I'm going to go ahead, or we're just going to go ahead and move straight on to the events that happened these past 2 weeks, because we had a good amount of Marvel that has went down, a lot of hype tournaments. Going to start off with PSG. over in Las Vegas. Shoutouts to the the Vegas scene for putting on a really sick tournament. They had like a $2,000 pop bonus for Marvel of all things. Like they show a lot of love for Marvel, so big shouts to them. As far as the results, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. Yeah, so tied for 7th place, we have Clegg Madness running a new team. Normally he's been known for Wolverine, Spencer, Akuma, but he switched out Spencer for Virgil.
Why would you do that? Yeah, I'm mad. Why would you do that?
Because I mean, yeah, you being the Spencer Akuma player, but like Virgil Tatsu's probably more stable than Spencer Tatsu. That's what I'd imagine.
I know, but still, I'm mad.
I'm with you, man.
It's just not about it.
All right, and tied for 7th place with Clegg, we have I Heart Justice. Big shout outs to him. He was on the show last times.
Still playing his team, not switching for Virgil. Just talk to that. Just saying.
Yeah. Tied for 5th place, we have Zero Max LV, part of the LV crew with Ryan and all them. So big shout outs to him. And one of the locals, YLT Cole, Hitbox Monster, playing Nemo's team, I believe. No, he plays Virgil second.
He plays Nova Virgil Strange, and sometimes he puts Virgil on point too.
I mean, yeah, we're all dropping Spencer for Virgil now.
No, we're not. Chill.
Mini Boss did the same.
Chill.
Mini Boss did do the same. Oh my god.
Yeah, Mini Boss did the same.
Yeah, I mean, and that team's sick. Like, it's a good switch. I think that's Spencer players honestly adapting to the meta. So
changing to Virgil.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
I can't talk about honor. I dropped Raccoon, so I can't. I'm sorry.
Raccoon's a struggle.
to be honest, like I think as the game moves on, I think the only people that are going to be playing Spencer for real are Nemo or Coach Steve variations. So Nova, Spencer, and then the 6. I think I said that before. I think that's going to be the in-game viable team that has Spencer on it. Other than that, you won't see him.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with switching to Virgil, man.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, that's true. But I'm just saying, like, as a fan of Spencer, Bionic Commando, Bionic Arms, half man, half robots,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I get that people kind of like miss the combo fiend aspect of the game or whatever, but like Virgil's pretty awesome. So I don't know. If I didn't play my team, I would probably mess with Virgil. And I did play Virgil when I played Zero for a little while.
I mean, if I liked winning, I'd probably play Virgil.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums that. Speaking of Virgil, in 4th place we have a Virgil player. I mean, not necessarily a Virgil player, a ZMC player. Ruin, old school Vegas cat. He came out with 4th at PSG. In 3rd place, big surprise, Chris G, our Evo champion, in 3rd place, losing double jeopardy to the man in 2nd place, Ryan LV. Big. I'm not surprised to see him in top 2. Last huge Marvel tournament we had in Vegas was undefeated. He showed up 2nd there, almost beating Chris G in one of the longest grand final sets I've ever seen in my life. And the dude who wins all the guap, a man that we haven't seen for so long, but came out really big these past 2 weeks, Cloud 805.
Dude, Cloud is
boys.
Cloud is a god. I'm saying it.
Okay, I'll say this much. He's a god in regional tournaments. I don't think that dude ever really loses at a regional level.
No, dude.
Or I mean, not like he'll lose sometimes, but yeah, and money matches. But when it comes to majors, he still has not won one.
I think he's, and this. I mean, I love this player. I'm going to talk about. I love him, but like he's. I think if Cloud and Ray played like a 1st to 20, I think Cloud will bust him up, dude. I believe it. And I know everybody had that argument where people were saying like Ray might be the next god, man. I think Cloud is the next god. I just do. Okay. I just believe it.
I think the argument at the time was like, I think it was between those two, and then I think Ray was just more visible because he travels more across both coasts.
It's funny.
So he gets the results,
I mean,
but like, I'm with you. I like no bias. I mean, it's gonna KIT, but like he's very, very, very consistent in long sets, and money matches, and like you said, regionals. He always does well. And I think actually when we were talking about them two, it was like coming off the tail end of Naptown when they played in like grand finals, and he just busted his ass too.
Oh God! Like Cloud is the god, dude. People don't know. People will be quick to say. I think it's just because they like watching Magneto move around the room. But you'll never find a guy that knows more in terms of like the exchange. Like when you're in that scramble situation, which obviously if you're scrambling with zero, God help you, you're not gonna make it. The buttons are too good. You're not gonna make it. But
I can't believe he hasn't won a major.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like there's just so many people that play this game that don't play in the tournaments. Like they don't do well in the tournaments. But you will learn more from playing them than you would learn from playing anybody else that you could play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cloud is that dude. Like if you're bad or you have bad tendencies, Cloud will show you every bad tendency that you have in a set. Like it's awful. He just like I play Ray. Like Ray is really, really good, and we go back and forth when we play. I can't touch Cloud, man. Can't put a hand on him. Would love to. Can't touch him. Can't touch him. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because he cut his hair, but that dude is godlike. I don't know. He's godlike.
I think all those guys, like, I mean, the gap between, like, 1 through 10 is so narrow that on any given day, whoever's hot can win. So, like, I don't necessarily think it's a knock against him that he hasn't won a major. I think it's more of, like, a testament to how strong overall the community is that we have typically, like, a diverse group of people win majors. Like I know for a while we had Chris and Champ winning everything, but like we were just talking earlier that I think Ryan LV may be the only person in the history of this game that has a winning record against Chris G. And then
I don't think he has a winning record, but he definitely is splitting close to him.
Yeah, it's super close. I can think of 3 sets he's beaten Chris compared to 2. But obviously, this is only the things I've seen. Who knows? Like, they could have played, like, a long-ass time ago, too, or, like, Evo before Ryan LV was, like, a name. But then, like, Ryan LV, his speed is Cloud. He's never beaten Cloud in a set. So it's like, he can take Chris G, he does really well against Chris G, but then against Cloud, he hasn't beat him in a tournament yet. So, like, this game is so, like, the talent level is so close, all the different players, that I think not having won a major is not as big of a deal as it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a really good point that like the skill level is so close. I think it was Infiltration that says in order to be the best, you just have to be a little bit better than everybody else, just a little bit. But that little bit, when you keep adding on top of it, that's what really like pushes you over the edge. And being a little bit better against like the best players around there, that's like no easy feat. So I'm not trying to say like it just takes a little bit of work. It's just that amount of that. It's like takes a crazy amount of work to just get a little bit of improvement at the highest level. But yeah, I mean, Cloud showed up big at PSG. He also won Mid-South Championships, which happened these past 2 weeks too, correct?
Yeah, that was a smaller, like KIT sponsored event that Panda X Gaming's starting up in Arkansas, and that was, I don't know, maybe about a dozen, 15 or so players. They pulled out like Fonzo, Young Chow, Man was out there, and Cloud was out there. And Cloud ended up beating Jan, I believe, in grand finals. So shout outs to him winning 2 tournaments in a row, showing that he doesn't need the hair. He doesn't need the hair.
I don't know. He's godlike.
And and we even had Marvel happening like all across the world. Manila Cup got streamed a little bit. They were running into streaming issues when Marvel was getting played, but we got to catch a bit of grand finals between Justin Wong and K-Brad. K-Brad being a very huge proponent of Marvel, still wants to play, still wants to, he's trying to win a major. That's his goal. But Justin Wong just keeping him down very consistently. That's I don't know if y'all saw that set, but it was, it was standard Justin Wong affair. Like Trish keeping Wolverine out and then K-Brad just kind of choking the storm.
Yo, can I be real for a second?
Sure.
The Manila player Anton Castilla, he had that against K-Brad. He just had that. Against Justin, and he dropped the lightning loop. Like, oh my god, he could have gone like to grand finals, and he just screwed it up.
I'm pretty sure Justin Wong has like a jammer on general. You know, where like your mid combo is 0, you're about to win, and then you just lose. Like that happened at Evo this past year, where Justin had to play Flocker. Flocker literally is on game-winning combo to 3-0 Justin Wong.
know.
Crowd goes silent, and then he just messes up, and then 2 Justin Wong Akuma comebacks happen, and it was just like, yeah, sorry, Flocker.
Yeah,
I feel bad. Feels bad, man.
I've seen so many things happen at Evo in that top 16. Like, I mean, we could like Jabril. Oh man, every time I watch that, Jabril, Jabril. Oh, the kid. First of all, Jabril is the jam. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
But watching that kid have everything just taken away. Oh.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't taken away.
I mean, he gave it away.
He tried to take what was not his.
Yeah, he gave it away.
He tried to take it.
He gave it
you
away.
just don't take things. You don't take things from KBR.
Kane did some stuff.
Yeah.
That last little
That's
corner mix-up where he hopped into the corner and then, oh, dude, I can't.
Jabril gave it away. No, Jabril took it away. Joey D gave it away.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
No way.
That was just a sloppy match in general, you know? And like, we're going to talk about Joey D in just a bit because he showed up huge at Civil War. Holy crap.
Joey D.
I mean.
Somebody else did too.
I mean, obviously. Yeah, but let me go ahead and go over the results for Civil War. Tied for 7th place, we got Fighting Game Player X. I'm pretty sure that's AA, right?
Yeah.
Just under a new name or a different name or whatever. Playing Hulk, Nemesis, Taskmaster. That just super ugly team. Super ugly. I think he had to fight a Wolverine Doom player, and that he ended up beating him. But tied for 7th place as well as Airborne, playing a pretty interesting team, Spider-Man Dormammu Shuma. I've been seeing a lot of Spider-Man Dormammu, shout outs to 018 coming out with all the Spider-Man Dormammu combos and all the tech, touch of death combos and everything. But adding Shuma in there is an interesting sort of like twist on a lot of people who normally just pick Doom. It's sort of like Zero's team mixed in with Angelic sort of shell. So he showed up in top 8, so good stuff to him. Tied for 5th place, PC Ham playing the classic Shady K team / PR Balrog team, Wolverine Doom Virgil. And also in 5th place, EXP Alarion playing Zero Nova Akuma, but in top 8 he was also playing Zero Virgil Akuma. Interesting team. In 4th place, this player I thought was super under the... Yeah. I'll go ahead and say, like...
Give him the MVP badge.
I mean, MVP badge goes to the guy who won at Staticalpha, but I was super impressed with the way this dude was playing. I am an Ares baby. Playing Taskmaster Sentinel Doom. Ares is good.
Love watching Ares play.
I absolutely love the neutral. Like, playing neutral with Ares is like, oh, it's so fun.
This is kind of going on, not necessarily a tangent, but your match against him in the finals was one. That was the most patient I've ever seen you play. Like, no lie, you were content at staying full screen and just doing Seismo, and then you would clip Sentinel, and then you would just do I-beam Seismo, and I was like, yes, my man is learning.
And you know what the cool part was? The part that really got me too was that, like, once you started conditioning with your patient neutral, then you started like mixing in the feints on your seismos to kind of keep him in place, and then you did like feint, triple plink, crouching medium to clip and Sentinel low. I lost my crap at work. Like, I was just like dying. It's like, that was so sick. For those, you gotta watch the archive. Bifuteki was the one that streamed it, and you can check the archive over there. It was a super sick top 8. That was my favorite match.
That was like Taskmaster like bias plus you bias. I was like, yo, this match is sick. Like, you both had some sick stuff too, where he had like a freaking Doom photon shot or photon array from full screen, called drones, hit you, and then dashed in, and then kept the combo going.
Yeah.
And then you had a sequence where you were like at a super jump height, and you blinked down, and then he blocked the cross up jump in.
Yeah,
and then you did it again. And then you did it again and hit him.
Yeah, like when I saw that he blocked it and he pushed me, I was just like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that happened.
So you did it again.
It happened, dude. Like, That boy, if you don't know Aries, I don't know if you're like watching the show or whatever. If you don't know Aries, that boy can play. Like he's so good.
Yeah. Very
Golly,
strong
so
neutral.
good.
I was
One of
very
the-
impressed with this play.
One of the rare good Taskmaster drone players.
Mm-hmm.
Just legit good, not some shield skilling plus assist nonsense. None of that.
Shout
Like
out
he
to
barely.
Sonalight.
Shout out to Sunderlight.
His name comes up around here like once a month. I swear to God. People are just like,
Alright.
you're just gonna do shield skills, huh? You're just gonna do it. Sonlight just does it. It works out. I'm like, shut
You
up.
know who else does it is Joey D, and he came in third, and he beat Dual Kevin in winners. Like he's been having a pretty crazy track record against Dual Kevin lately. When I watch them play, it looks like Joey D just has a very, very strong handle in that matchup. If Dual Kevin's Deadpool does not beat Zero, he just loses. Dante doesn't get to do anything. It's so like as a Dante player, missiles absolutely suffocates that character, and then on top of Zero, it's a nightmare. But regardless, like Big showing up to Joey D, he made it all the way to winners finals just to face you, you know. And then he lost twice in a row to both you, and then the run back with Dual Kevin. And speaking of Dual Kevin,
let me give
go
you
ahead.
some juice. I'm gonna give you some juice on the inside of that. Kevin will ultimately say that Joey holds forward, like he texts forward all the time, always rolls forward, always rolls in everything. So that pop off, I don't know if you saw that when it happened. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Kev popped off when he won that the loser set. That's mainly because he doesn't want to respect the missiles for Joey. He doesn't want to respect it. He's like, all he does is call missiles and hold forward is not good. But the problem is, Joey's Zero is mad good. So missiles is obnoxious. So I think like as much as Kevin would like to say like, oh, I don't think he's doing that much. It's not that good. Kevin has a hard time dealing with it. I actually think he has a way harder time dealing with that than most things. So as you know, as much as he would like to not respect it, I think it's one of those situations that pushes Kevin to be where he is. So it's really interesting to watch them play, you know?
I agree. You know, the reason why I think that he feels that way about missiles is because of the way he uses jam session to nullify. I've kind of figured this out lately where after missiles get fully called on when they're on their way down, if you call jam session properly, it gets rid of all the missiles and leaves enough of the projectile durability to kind of have jam session still out there. Kevin was actually doing that a good bit. And I was pretty impressed. He got it very consistent, but it didn't even matter at a certain point because all he did was just push him to the corner and then just like pop him with the buster and then he just dies. So he'd have to probably like reevaluate his like him just always playing passive and try and find better ways to kind of open him up.
Yeah, I like watching them play. I feel like I learned a lot. It's just really interesting to see how Joey handles that. I mean, obviously he's got Buster and he's got lightning and he's got a teleport and he's got missiles. So there's all these different things that just kind of allow him to close the distance where I think a lot of people don't have, you know, the wherewithal to be able to close that gap on Kevin. Because Kevin wants you to get in so he can shove you into jam session and in the match. You know, very, very good at that. But Joey just not having it. So
right.
One of the things I'm sorry to see, but one of the things I wanted to say is if you're a Doom player too, you need to watch. You need to watch every single match that Dual Kevin played at top 8 because I want to say Aries, Joey. I know Joey and Brandon. They each had a Doom comeback on the cheap stuff where it was like down to like Hawkeye versus Doom or like Dante Hawkeye versus Doom. And I think all three of them, I know at least Brandon and Joey did, had a comeback with Doom against Kevin. And it's to showcase like how patient and how you have to play the matchup because there was we all know that his team is like the most anti-Doom team. And like a lot of people just give up when it comes down to them versus Dual Kevin and his Doom left. But I wanted to point out that those two in particular, Brandon and Joey, did a really good job of like playing a super basic and super patient game with Doom and just playing cat and mouse and not even letting Kevin hang himself, but knowing just the right time to push him into the corner and push their advantage. And then like they both had like I think there was more times when Kevin had two characters to Doom that he lost than that he won in top 8.
Huh. I always feel like that matchup is like 7-3. Like it sucks.
Yeah, like Joey straight up got like it was like Kevin didn't have enough bar to kill. I don't remember what happened after that, and then Joey just got like the luckiest grab in the world and ended it. And then there was another situation that I think you got something like that and then there was another situation where Joey was fighting Dante and Hawkeye, and he got a hit on Dante. Dante was low life, didn't have to use bar. Then he hit Hawkeye and killed him.
Did you see that mix up in the corner? The delayed dash down medium whip foot dive cross up that Joey did.
My favorite was Kevin did like a grenade cross up. He did grenade on the Doom incoming. So like he like did like medium guns grenade, and then Doom came in, and then he somehow used grenade to push him out the corner, and then he got behind him and did crouch light. It was something.
Oh, I saw that. That was nasty.
Or the the grenade teleport overhead where he does the flip and it crosses up. Dude.
And if you expect you're dead, it's horrible.
Kevin is just like that. The whole like Doom. What is it? The Dante quick work thing. Like, I don't care what you all say. I know people say you can see it. Just guess. Just pick a side and roll with it. Like, I'm sorry, but just pick a side and roll with it. People say that mix-up is unblockable. It's not unblockable, but I will tell you that it is more same side than it is cross-up.
I think when I played Dual Kevin at final round, I think Justin told me, "Yo, listen, you just block same side the first time and then cross up the second time," and that's what I did. I think I blocked it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet I tell him all the time. I was like, dude, it's 50-50 mix-up. Like, people say that it's unblockable. Like, Kevin says he can like change it, and I think there's like one variant that he does to make it cross up that is visible, but the others, I don't think he knows, and he won't admit that he doesn't know. But I don't think he knows.
There's nothing wrong with admitting you don't know.
No, yeah, right. Because I remember when Hayden came up with the whole like zip down Arthur arrows or Arthur daggers, he'll be the first person to tell you. He's like, I don't have to know where it went. You're dead. That's it. Like, I don't have to know. It doesn't matter. You got hit. Game over. That's it. You have to worry about blocking it. When you're on the defense, figure it out. It's not for the objective for them to know. Like, but that dual Kevin junk, like, I'm telling you, it's more or less same side than it is cross up. I love Kevin, but I'm trying to like put him on blast since I'm here. I just feel like people need to know.
So
people need to know.
On the topic of people needing to know, and the topic of putting people on blast, right? I have to ask you real quick because we have a few viewers who are actually like asking this question. Joey D is kind of going ham, doing his thing, and it's working for a lot of people, but not against you. So my question to you is, what do you think people need to do to beat Joey D, or do better against Joey D?
Snipe Doom. Snipe him. If you're Magneto, you need to be mindful and use that disruptor to hit Doom in his face. Do it. With Viper, like the I-beam and timing that heavy seismo when Doom is in front of you, like from that max range, blink once and throw that seismo. Knock that character out of his out of the assist. He doesn't get the same type of pressure, and he doesn't feel as confident without that assist being on the screen. Like, I love Joey. Joey's incredible. But I will sit at full screen against that zero and just wait my turn. Like, I have no problem with doing that if that's what it takes. Because getting pinned under missiles and then him zipping back and forth and shooting busters and stuff and so Ginmuing, like, that's not where you want to be. Don't be there. Like, if you put yourself in that position, you're probably not gonna make it. That's just my opinion.
Fair enough. Good advice. So make sure you're hitting Doom people. I think Eli on commentary kind of pointed it out that when the game gets to a certain level, most of the focus honestly is on the assist characters. They dictate way more of the pace of the match in the neutral than what your point character is doing. Because you're kind of just trying to bait out of the assist. Very Marvel 2 sort of like strategy, pretty much. You have to always keep the assist in mind. It's like trying to anti-air, but it's not like they're jumping in at you. You have to punish in a very specific way.
Especially lower assists, like Sentinel drones or anything like that. Be mindful of where they are at all times. And it's okay if they're calling them off screen. And this is with Sentinel drones, like playing against that Ares and playing against Ray. Anytime somebody puts a slow assist that's moving on the screen like that, like if you're in the corner, do yourself a favor. Don't block that standing. It doesn't serve a function for you to be on the ground and block that. They want you to. Or if you're pinned under it, you have the ability to get mixed up. You have the ability to get grabbed as you're on the ground. If you're in the air and you're in block stun, it's a lot harder for them to do things to you. So if you're going to have to block it, chicken guard it. Like, there's nothing wrong with chicken guarding it. I'm not saying push block it, but be in the air and block stun. So that way it's a little harder for you to get hit.
Okay.
Beating Joey shouldn't be a question, though. How do I beat Kevin?
Yo, Brandon had trouble beating Kevin at first. That was a quick 3-0.
Oh, dude, it was horrible.
Yeah, so
I went into that set against Kev knowing that I was going to lose it. Like, honestly, that first set, like, I knew I was going to lose it. But if Kevin and I play a first to 10, like, yeah, he'll usually beat me like 10-8, 10-7. But for the first 4 games, I don't know what the heck's going on. So, like, I watch it and I'm just like, well, I'm getting rolled and I have no idea why. But for 2 years, I fought him incorrectly. And he will tell you to kill his team in order. I think he's a liar.
He's a liar.
Yes, he is. Like, I didn't listen because I just thought, like, if I kill Dante, I get rid of the whole, like, jam session problem. I get rid of the infinite. I get rid of team super. But the problem being, I was donating a third of my team, which Doom is a really important part of my team. I literally put Doom on a silver platter for Kevin for 2 years straight and said, here you go, you can have him. And he took him from me. So, like, in fighting him, and Aries did tell me this. He told me 2 years ago. He was like, you need to snap Hawkeye in. It's important that you snap Hawkeye in. And I'm like, no. Like, you gotta kill Dante. And last month, when I was at Godlike in Indiana, we played, and it was like a Pasadena thing where it's first to 4. He beat me in 2 sets. He beat me in winners finals, first to 4, or it was 4-3. And then in grand finals, he beat me 4-3. And I was playing terribly that day, but it was still really close. And it was because every time I hit Deadpool, I snapped in Hawkeye and unblockable him. He's the only character in the game that's more helpless than Virgil on incoming. He's the only character in the game that has absolutely no options. He can't double jump. If he has no meter, all he can do is land, X Factor, and pray. Can't do anything. He has no options. So snapping in Hawkeye and getting that kill, it gets rid of the neutral assist, so you don't have to block as many projectiles on the ground, and it gets rid of his anchor. And if he beats you with Dante, he earns it. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's just how it is. And Deadpool on the screen by himself, I'm sorry, but no, it's not a thing. It's never going to be a thing. Just let it go. If he doesn't have any help, he's not going to beat you. So, like, if you have a 3-on-1 situation against Deadpool, like, I don't think you should be nervous about it. But that boy's Hawkeye, and also with his defense, it's not something you want. Kevin's defense is not to be contested. It's really, really strong.
Mostly, I think you just sound like a Doom Anchor player. Because honestly, I think that his Dante, like his Hawkeye is really sick, but I think his Dante is probably more gross. I wouldn't want to deal with his X Factor 3 Dante.
Nah, dude, kill his Hawkeye. Kill his Hawkeye. That's what I did. That's what I did when I went to Godlike. So.
Oh yeah, and he busted him up. I heard about it. So shout outs to you for busting him up. He is human. He's just, sometimes you gotta check him a little bit. Check him.
Also, while we're talking about all these like super sick mix-ups and everything that he was doing, I want to talk about his making you block jam session, walking like a quarter of the screen and then doing crouch jab, and you got hit by it like 7 times.
Of course, because you want to push block it so bad. But see, Kevin's gonna wait and just delay the light, and you're gonna push block and you're gonna get bodied. So like in the second set, like after I won the first game in the second set, I just declared, I was like, I'm gonna hold down back and I'm not gonna press anything. I'm not gonna push block. I'm not gonna do anything. So I just sat there, and he would hit light like 4 or 5 times, light, delay, light, and then he'd flip back and throw the grenade. And I think to myself, like, yeah, he's away from me. I'm also alive, and I didn't get exposed from trying to press light or push block or do it incorrectly. Like, everybody lives. Now, granted, like, keep your hand above the heavy button so you can take the throw. But outside of that, what's the point? Like, why worry about trying to push block it? He's going to leave. He doesn't want to be next to you if you're blocking something. He's just going to flip backwards and then run away. But at least you get to live. Because I tried. The first set, I tried to push block, and I got blown up every single time for free, every time.
That mix-up was definitely the MVP of the entire. Like, if anyone goes back and watches it, just watch how many times everyone gets clipped by that. I was cracking up the entire time, every single time something got open by it.
You block the hard card. You block the 50-50, and then you're like, okay, I blocked it. I got to push block. And then you push block, and then a heavy comes out, and then Pineapple Surprise hits you, and he quick works, and you lose the game.
I feel a little bad because we're talking about Kevin, like Kevin is here. I think we need to talk about Brandon Strider for a little bit. that corpse hop mix up you have?
Oh, the bird bomb mix up. I feel like everybody that sees that the first time swallows it. The first time you do it, like they're like, "That's not a mix up. That shouldn't happen." And then before they know, dead. You know, so like, I did it to Joey, and I was like, "Well, maybe he's seen me. Maybe he's seen me do it, so he'll know." But no,
he's still on board, man.
Yeah.
Also, what is it about your Strider? And this is not like I'm not trying to call you out.
I am. Your Strider sucks. You always drop.
Feel like you always drop game winning or like character killing combos all the time.
I don't know what it is. I think it's like the anticipation of like when you do that double jump and S them to the ground, and you've got to summon the bomb. And then throw the bomb, and then level 3 after the bomb comes out before it touches them. Otherwise, they'll flip because there's too much hit stun. I buffer the bomb throw into the dragon punch, and whenever it happens, for some reason, I do it too quick, and I get stand S, and it ruins everything. And I hate it. I hate it. Like you get the game-winning kill, you're like, all I have to do is OTG into super, and then you hear Strider go, oh, and I'm like, great. Now I have to try and play again. And then usually I don't get the hit and I lose, and then everybody makes fun of me, and we're talking about it like that. So there you go.
I think we've touched upon Civil War a good bit on top of all the other stuff. If you go back in the archives, I swear to God, listen to what Brandon's telling you. This is actual real advice against some of these players who are consistently going out to tournaments and doing work. He's giving you the answers. Like, people just don't do that for free. So, like, big shout, like, thank you for doing that. And our next topic, we've been hearing, people wanting us to kind of go over more so like characters breakdowns, sort of like in detailed discussions about how certain characters that aren't necessarily talked about as much, as not like the Morrigans, the Zeros, the Virgils. We've talked about that plenty. But, this is one of the rare occasions where we get to have, character specialists. You're pretty, like, it's you in full schedule pretty much as far as like Vipers go at like the highest level. You guys are the ones doing the most work here. So I want to take this time to like, talk about Viper and kind of pick your brain about what you think how do you think that character fits in the meta? I'll start off with that question first. Like, how do you think she fares against a lot of what's going on now in the competitive Marvel scene? Brandon.
Viper, I'm going to say it. I don't know if people agree with me. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I guess it depends on how much you hate her. She's top tier, dude. I believe it.
Heck yeah.
She's top tier. She's like, I think she's one of the characters, like, and it really does depend on the shell. But I think, honestly, like, in the lateral game, like, if you're playing Viper, you should probably be playing Doom with Beam. Like, I just believe that. Like, that shell is so strong. And in the lateral, I think it controls a lot more than people give it credit for. Now, like against like Magneto, I think Viper Magneto is like 5-5, but I think it's only if the Viper can make it 5-5. The Magneto is fast and he's able to do a lot, but I think that matchup is even because I know like everybody complains about EX Seismo. It's such a good move, like it's cost bar, but it's like invincible and it's crazy. You can do all the stuff with it. But like Magneto can like want to run away and accidentally throw you and kill you. So I mean, you can say a lot. Like how many Magneto players?
About Remy right now, though. That's not
even Remy. Not even Remy. Because you're a Magneto player sitting over there, hitbox guy. We know you accidentally go fishing and end up with something in your hand all the time. I see it.
No, I never go fishing though. It just happens. Like he'll jump into my hands. That's not me. That's you.
The fish just jump in the boat. They just jump in. Hot garbage. But anyway, I think that's 5-5. I think Viper can fight Zero just for the fear of EX Seismo. I think EX Seismo keeps a lot of these top tier characters in check. I think I-Beam can hold Morrigan at bay because you can kind of trade and wait your turn. She's throwing fireballs. You can let a beam go and just kind of sit. You don't take as much chip because she has to respect the beam. Even though it's small and it's quick and it's only one lick, it just takes time off of Astral Vision, which is kind of a good thing. I don't know. I think she's top tier, dude. I think Viper sits really well amongst the rest of the cast. I think she's every bit as good as Magneto is. without being able to fly, but she has those special shoes that allow her to do all that stuff.
So with her being top tier, and like I agree with you, like she definitely has tools. It's just not easy.
No,
I want to hear you. Like, what do you think? Why do you think that there aren't a lot of Viper players?
she's too
Like,
hard.
too hard.
She's too hard. It's not that. It's not like I'm saying like, oh, you have to have like crazy special technique in order to use her. I just feel like out of the Vipers that I know of, like myself and Full Schedule and like even Crazy Joe, like we all have like different little things that we do, and I think everybody uses different tools better than the others, you know. And like Ricky Walker too. Like I think there's just certain people that like use different pieces of her in different ways. And honestly, I feel like if you could put all of us into one body and sit it down and have that person control the stick, and she had access to everything, I think she'd be right there with Zero and Morgan. I really do. I think she has everything you need. Like she just, I think a lot of people see her and like all of the execution, like with the whole like walking seismos and Tiger knee burn kick confirms and all that stuff. Like it's just a lot of complicated stuff. When really, and this is nothing bad against Wolverine, but if Wolverine could do stand jab and the Berserker slash you, and then it ruins your whole experience because it's quick and you're already hit and you lost, that's a lot easier than doing Dragon Punch heavy, focus dash, Dragon Punch heavy, Tiger knee. It's a lot. It's just a lot to do, and doing all that while holding a jab button down, it's just you're asking a lot. So I don't think a lot of people want to play her just because it's a lot of stuff to do, even when you're not hitting someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing I heard about a lot back in the day is that she's top 5 in theory, but when in practice she is arguably maybe top 10 because, like you said, everything that's going on, and she has so many tools, but like nobody can use every tool to the full advantage. But one question that I have for you: why don't people go for the unblockable more often? It looks like it should be something that everybody goes for every time, but it's not. Like most people like just feign into a throw or feign into a low. Like why don't you just let it rip? Like not just you, but every other Viper player.
There are ways out of the unblockable, and it does depend on the character's options on incoming. It's not always free, but I will say this: against Hawkeye, if you have the meter and you have the health, it's free. You can't do anything. It's free. It's free. Take it. It's yours. If you call Doombeam and then you hold that jump, he can't double jump. All he can do is super. You absorb the gimlet, smack him in his face. It's free. But in a lot of situations, like let's say like Virgil, if you were to do that against Virgil and you didn't have the help to do it, I mean, he can just super, and then when he X factors, like he can appear wherever he wants to appear, and it's useless, So like it doesn't serve the function that you'd want it to serve in a lot of situations. And also, depending on how they push block things, like if you like in my case, in order for them to fall on Doombeam, they have to respect me enough to not double jump or to not air dash. So that requires me to be like calling Strider and doing the grounded mix-ups and doing the layered like flip over dash down back mix-ups where they get used to seeing that. So they're like, I'm not going to dash because he could jump heavy kick me and he'll staircase me down. You have to condition them to fall into the situation that is guaranteed every time. At least on my team. Like with Annie, I think there's a way that like people like guard break where they jump up and like they dash and make you block or whatever, and you fall onto Annie and it's like safe to do. Or with Dante, it's like safe because it's so big. But that's only on certain characters, depending on how tall they are too. So all of those things like go into effect when you're doing this unblockable mix-up. Because if somebody's smart, like they could block part of it, X Factor, and then not block on purpose and get thrown away from you, and then they're safe. There's ways out of it. It just depends on what you're willing to do in order to get out of it. It's all in a trading sacrifice. But like if you're training the person to block a certain mix-up or a certain way based on the craziness of your mix-ups that aren't unblockable, when you set up the unblockable, they fall into it and there isn't anything they can do about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of Vipers don't let it just fly.
All right. So you were saying earlier that you think Viper Doom is the optimal shell.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say, so there's like 4 main Viper players that I guess we can think of off the top of our heads, being yourself, using the Viper Doom, Strider. There's Full Schedule with Viper Doom, Amy. There's Ricky Walker, Viper Doom, Virgil. And then there's Crazy Joe with the Viper Dante Strider. Do you think you play the best variation of the team? Or do you think there's a better variation that can be? Because I know they all excel in different ways, but what do you think is the best overall variation?
I feel like, and this isn't, it's not me being cocky. I think my shell is the best shell against the top tier. I believe that.
Free.
Yeah, I think my shell is the best shell against the top tier. I think a lot of the characters that are grounded, like when you fight the Wolverines and the Spencers, I think the Amy shell is like preferable just because it's Cold Star. But as far as like spatial control and being able to snipe assist and keep people out of the air, which is the Magnetos and the Morgans and the Zeros, you need the Strider assist with Seismo is terrifying for all those characters. So why not have it? That's just what I think.
Didn't Full Schedule pick your team at most of CEO?
I think
I listened top 8, yeah.
He did.
Yeah, I heard he tried to play Ray Ray with it, but I don't think he was doing so well. So he switched to his original team, and then he beat Ray Ray with it. So I
Stopped him. He was down 0-2. He was down 0-2 playing your shell, and then switched his Amy stuff, and then just 3-0'd him immediately. Like, that's on paper, that's just a worse matchup because Amy doesn't offer a lot in the neutral. Like Full Schedule wants to pick Strider to kind of make Magneto think more about where he's trying to like go and limit Magneto's movement, because that's the biggest problem, like you mentioned. Like, Magneto's so fast, like probably faster than Viper, and is able to occupy more parts of the screen because he has a fly while Viper doesn't. But that didn't matter for Full Schedule, did it? So
I think Magneto is I think it just depends on the movement of the Magneto, because there's so many easy ways for him to punish Vadra assist calls and still be able to get away from Viper that I think really just probably the fact that Amy's giving him a different look than Strider. So he has to play completely different than how he was playing to avoid Strider. He has to play to deal with the Amy, and that was probably enough to mess with his head a little bit, because
you say that, but if you remember back at KIT 2016, Brandon beat Ray Ray, with a lot of Strider calls that kind of went in. Like, I've talked to you about this in the past, Brandon, but I want you to kind of go over against someone who's very cognizant against Strider and sniping it. What is your strategy to kind of deal with that and still be able to call Strider? Because you definitely got Strider calls out.
There's Ray Ray and I actually talked about this after it happened. He said that the reason he felt like he didn't beat me at that tournament is he didn't get a proper read on which assist I was calling. I think in that situation, it kind of felt like, I think having Strider on the team, obviously, just having that assist and knowing that you will call it will cause a Magneto player to react to it a certain way. They will fight you in a certain manner based on the fact that you have that assist at your utility. So whereas if that assist isn't on your team, they feel a lot more confident in moving around the screen, right? So when I was fighting Ray Ray, instead of calling, Strider from full screen, even though I knew he was in flight or whatever, it was more about drawing a line on the screen with my eyes and being like, if Magneto reaches this point, I'll call Strider. If he doesn't reach this point, I will not call Strider. But the threat that I could call Strider will make him go backwards for me instead of forward. Do you know what I mean? So in that situation, just waiting for that opportune time, instead of I've got to go catch Magneto. Let Magneto do his dance and fly above your head where he's kind of dancing in that sweet zone. But once he crosses that threshold, right outside of crouching medium kick distance, when he's there, call Strider and plink at him. If he's flying over your head, plink backwards and plink with him. At that point, you get a situation where just having Vadra on the screen creates a 50-50 against Magneto, which Magneto players hate that. But the problem is you have to be fast enough to move with him. And there's not a lot of people that can plink that fast to keep up with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think moving with Magneto is the scariest part of the matchup. You have to condition yourself to be fast enough to keep up with him. If not,
right. A lot of people, including myself, if the Magneto kind of watch and do really safe mag blasts in front of him that cover his movement, and then right then, once the Magneto notices that you're a little too passive, that's when he decides to just go full on ham, and you're not prepared to deal with any of that. That's you losing right there if you let it happen.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it requires a good amount of recognition of what the opponent's movement is saying about what they're focusing on, and you seem to have a pretty good idea of what that happens, or or what to do when that happens.
You can tell when they want to snipe your assist. The character behaves differently. They sit mid-range and then full screen, and then mid-range and then full screen. They don't just go mid-range and then come at you. If they're wanting to catch Strider, they're going to be passive. And Champ is Champ is so good at that. Like if you ever get to play with him, he'll sit mid range and he just begs you. He's like, I have no problem with doing launch shockwave and taking 50 or 60% from that character just because you call the assist once, you know. But it's all about where you are. If you're plinking with him and staying within that sweep distance range where it's like it's not like clear enough for him to make an approach to you from the air, Strider is viable at that point. If you're full screen, you're just mashing Strider and calling beam, like it's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on? There's actually two Viper players we haven't mentioned, and we'll talk about it in chat. We haven't talked about Unknown that technically plays Viper.
Oh no, for sure. Oh no, sick.
And Moises
Fast
from
hands, man. His hands fast.
And Moises from South America. I think one of the people that he actually beat KBR at the last Chile Major. He plays Taskmaster, Viper, Ami, I think. What do you think about like Taskmaster, Viper, and Ami?
Best character, Viper,
That's what's needed. That's what he used. Like he beat KBR last major. So
wow.
Would you? Is that what you need to beat KBR?
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I think I just need to honestly like play with Kane a little more because I play with Jan and like Jan is really really good, but like I can mess with Jan, like I can beat him, you know. But Kane, like it's like Jan is controlled and he's so much more calculated. Kane just lets it go, dude. I don't know. Like I think maybe it's just in my head. I don't know. I could just be scared to death of him because I know that he has no problem with X factoring. He has no problem with YOLOing at me at the time. But like, it's a read though. He typically does it when he's supposed to. So I can't even be mad at him for it, you know? I just hate losing to it because I just really hate Hulk a whole lot. So
You're not the only Viper player that feels that way. I think every Viper player that I've met has felt like that.
That hates Hulk.
I mean, full schedule. I mean, for the longest time, Hulk is still his demon.
Yeah, and also Busby. I remember talking to him. He used that Texas.
Bro, we forgot to mention Busby.
That's the.
I mean, he's been gone for a while.
Right?
Viper Morgan starter player. That dude's that good. I love playing him. He had really good neutral, and then when he comes across a Hulk player, he just gets smashed. And I remember, I think it was like CEO 2014 when he got top 8, and I think at some point he lost to a Hulk player. He was talking about it, and he just like he came out of that match just like sweating, really just like heavy breathing. It's like I hate that character. I think that's like everybody that ends up like playing him as Viper. It's a really frustrating matchup because what you want to do as Viper doesn't necessarily work.
Nope. All the things that you're used to doing, you might as well just write it off. Like you have to like the Hulk has to like make a bad decision. Because like running in and trying to mix him up or running at him and trying to do like anytime you are trying to do something with Hulk, if he gets bored and wants to disrespect you, you're going to die. That's just it. Because everything has armor and it bounces and you have no health, so you're not going to live. Like that's just it. So like you have to respect all those crazy buttons. And like if somebody dashes up to you and does a command grab with Hulk and they get it, like you were screwed. You were going to get it. You know, like it's a read. But if they get it wrong, they get hurt desperately. So I would rather them try to make the read and get it incorrect than to try to run in and I'm going to do overhead, you know, burn kick, light feint, and then light overhead, and then get hit by stand heavy. Like, because I mean, you do all that input, and then he just raises his arm above his head, and you bounce off the floor. It makes you feel real stupid real fast.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yo.
I will put you on blast right now. What is, in your opinion, the top 3 Viper players?
Top 3?
Yeah, top 3. Or top 5 if you want, but top 3.
You mean like in order?
Yeah, in order.
Oh, Christ. I don't know. I like to think that I'm the best just because it makes me feel good when I think about being the best. But I don't know if that's a thing. So because I don't believe in myself quite like that, just because I've learned so much from everybody. I like I don't know, Derek and I go back and forth. It's tough to say. Like when we play, it's really, really close and we never know how it's gonna go. But if it's not me, I would say that it's Derek. And then if it's not Derek, then it's Ricky. So if I put us in order, I would say myself because I love myself as a human being, and I'm trying to get better all the time. And I don't have like any other buttons on my stick. I play with 6 buttons. I have a light, medium, a heavy, and S, and an assist 1 and assist 2.
Okay, I see. Yeah, you keeping it
I don't
humble.
even use a dash button. So as far as that goes, I'm the god. Deal with it. So there's that. But I've seen Derek do crazy stuff even when he's not doing, the extra button setups or whatever. And I learned a lot. I didn't even know how to do seismo walking if it wasn't for watching him. So I got to give him all the credit in the world. So shouts to Full Schedule. So I'll give him the number 2 spot. Plus I'm DJing his wedding. So,
You owe me this.
Got to give him the love. But and after that, I would say Ricky. Probably Ricky Walker, just because he's crazy and I love playing him and he's fun and he has crazy ability. But so let's say, so I got me, Full Schedule, Ricky, Marlon. Even though he doesn't really play the game, he's what I would consider to be the innovator. So I would put him at the 4th slot. And then the other Viper that I really liked watching play, I don't think he is doing everything that he used to do. But I'll actually give the 5th slot a tie, and that's because I just really respect K-Beast. He was the first player that was ever really sponsored that showed me anything with the character. He's the one that taught me staircases. So shout outs to K-Beast.
Magneto Dante, right?
Yeah.
No love for Crazy Joe?
No,
you mentioned Ricky Walker.
That's the other person. That's the other person. Crazy Joe, his name is Crazy Joe because he's crazy. And I will tell you this, playing Joe at a tournament when he's like loose as a goose, if he's feeling a little drunk, completely different ball game.
Yeah.
He's crazy. And he plays the game like it's Marvel 2. Like he has like some of the silliest, goofiest resets that you'll ever see. And he just, it's like he can make you feel stupid real fast. But I think against like some of these other players, like, he can fight Magneto. I know he plays with Ray Ray all the time. But I think against fighting some of these zeros stuff, I think he would have more trouble, I think, than some of the rest of us. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm not here to agree, disagree, or to make a stink. It's just what I think. So you got to know, I'm the best. Let's go.
Another question. What is, in your opinion, Viper's worst matchup?
Hulk.
Can we expand that? Can we expand that and just say like the 3 hardest matchups for her?
Yeah, 3 hardest.
Hulk with drones, that's obnoxious. Anything with Hagar is obnoxious. And anything with the Akuma assist is obnoxious. Because it soaks up everything.
Why does it soak up?
Because it's stupid spinning anti-everything, just something. It just busts through everything. It busts through EX Seismo. It's obnoxious. Like, I'm sorry, but as a person on the defense, when you have like a move that you're used to being like, this is my move and I've got meter, I'm gonna do it. Leave me alone. And then Tatsu just comes in and you do it and it doesn't care that you did it. Or Hagar comes out and he doesn't care if you EX Seismo. He doesn't give a crap at all. He spins and you die. That's it. So anybody that has an assist that nullifies EX Seismo is the worst matchup. That's just how I feel about it.
I'll say this much, you're pretty good about sniping it. And for Viper players that maybe watch, if you wait for someone to try and like call it, mid-range, you can just like walk up and then just do crouching medium and clip its legs, and then you just hit them. Like, you've done that to me, definitely.
Yeah, but that's not.
Full Schedule's done that to me too.
That's not easy though, man. It's not easy. It's not easy like sniping Sentinel drones. You let go of the button and he's gone. You're like, yay!
Right.
You go about your business. But anything that nullifies that pressure when you finally get the approach, like with Kevin, like if you finally do manage to get in there and you've worked hard, you've covered the screen. It's like fighting Cable in MVC2. You get in, and then you've got this crazy defensive shell where he's got crazy defense, and then he's got jam session just kind of waiting for you. So if you do too much, he pushes you into jam session and you lose the character. It sucks. That's just my opinion. It's the assist. It's not the point matchup. It's the assist. Hulk is the only point matchup that I think is just like, if they're patient, they'll just override you when you do too much. Outside of that, I think she can fight everybody. That's just what I think.
What are the 3 most free matchups for you?
Free?
Easiest, yeah.
I think obviously Nemesis is free. It's free as a bird.
He's
free.
in this game.
Yeah, right. I would say he's not. But you ever play Scammy?
Yeah, I play game.
Yeah, I have.
You know, like I think that matchup is free.
Maybe it's Scamby though.
Scamby is good, and I did beat Scamby last time I played him. I beat him like 10-6, I think, when we played. But he's really good. But I think the Nemesis matchup is free. Let's see, free. That's the thing, is like you never know. I fought Captain Americas that have blown me up. So like, by the way, shout outs to Jesse Tucker, who made me believe in Captain America.
Yo, Jesse's sick.
And not Rocket Raccoon.
Dude, I don't know. I don't like Rocket against Viper. I don't like Spider-Man against Viper. I think that matchup is a nightmare.
Maybe there's something.
I know another free character against Viper, Spencer.
Oh, Spencer's free to Viper. He's got that cute little dash, that cute little tumble dash that's too damn big. You just throw a crouch medium kick, and then Marcus just runs into it and hates his life. You know, you throw that button out there, and he goes tumbling in, and he just runs into it. But that's if he has bionic arm, I think he should have that long dash. So I think that's fair. But I don't know. I don't think the Spencer matchup it's free. I don't think it's free. I think Marcus is free. So
Burn.
yeah. I'm kidding. First time I ever met Marcus, he beat the crap out of me. So I don't think Marcus is free. But you know, I don't know. I would say that any big body other than Hulk. I think Sentinel versus Viper is fairly easy. I think Doom versus Viper is really easy if you can keep a meter and just kind of like space the seismos, because he doesn't really have much of an approach, and Doom's on a lot of people's teams. So I like the Viper Doom matchup, and I also like the Strider Doom matchup. Like I feel like Strider owns him. So anytime I see a Doom on my screen, I'm just kind of like, I feel okay with it, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody else is really free. Not Firebrand, not Taskmaster. I think Taskmaster Viper is a great fight.
I actually like fighting Viper, even though everybody says that Spencer Viper is bad. I like the matchup.
I don't think it's completely free. I think it's all in the patience of the Spencer player.
Maybe it's because I play Tatsu though.
Yeah, Tatsu's godlike, and I hate Tatsu.
Huge friend of the show. Shouts to him. It's kind of sort of on the same topic of matchups. He asks, would you consider swapping Strider for another assist in certain matchups? Like he suggests, like playing Amy against big bodies. What do you think?
Yeah, because it doesn't give you anything playing against the Hulk with Strider. You know, and even in the situation where you get the X factor, like when you're trying to work a comeback, you have so much work to do. Like killing Kane's team, you have so much work ahead of you. So I don't think it's as beneficial to have Strider in that matchup. So yeah, I think Amy against that team would be better. I actually think Amy against Wolverine is better too. So like I would be more inclined to swap out Strider for the Amy assist. I think in the on the grounded based characters. But anybody that's in the top tier that has that good mobility, like I think Strider all day, free of charge. That's just what I think.
Okay, fair enough. Well, with all that said, I think we're gonna try and go ahead and wrap it up. Do you have any quick shout outs you want to give, Brandon?
Let's see. Yeah, actually I'll give a few. I'll give a shout out to one of my friends who's actually here in the other room right now playing Marvel. A guy named Neil Long, goes by the name Extract. He runs my team. He actually keeps me sharp quite a bit just from playing in the room. He comes 3 hours to learn the game and to be able to play and experience, and he gets better all the time. So I give him shouts. Obviously, I give my shouts to Kinder Party for being the dad I never had. So shouts to Kinder Party for being fam. Big ups. Shout outs to Remy. Shout outs to Zebu. And anybody and everybody that's ever been supportive of me or anything that I've ever done in this game, and anybody, especially like shout outs to Io Shogun out in the West Coast. He's a big fan of mine, and I don't know how I've impressed him, but I'm happy that I did because he's a hell of a guy. So shout outs to him, and just anybody who's a Marvel enthusiast. I don't care why you watch. If you don't play, if you do play, whatever, like the game's awesome, and it's not going to stay around unless we're here to keep it going. So big ups to everybody that's involved in the game.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And my sponsor, Jesus, I almost forgot to shout out.
Yeah, dude.
Lord. So shout outs to my boy that Mustachio goes by the name Adam. I don't want to disclose his last name because he's kind of got an identity thing going on with the stream. But big ups to him and all the chaps in the chats and for all the events we do on Twitch. They've actually helped me get to a lot more events this year or in the past year that I would have been able to go to, like Evo and just this past Civil War, and I mean just any of the things I've been at, Combo Breaker, the whole nine. So big ups to them. Big ups to Team Net Battles out of Indy. Obviously, shouts to Dual Kevin and Nolber for doing his thing for Clutch. Just anybody and everybody. Jesse at Arcade Legacy, you guys rock.
Okay. Raid, you got any shoutouts?
Shoutouts to South America. They have their major this weekend called Never Give Up. Shoutouts to Campbell River that hasn't won it yet, and shoutouts to Moises that beat KBR last year. So let's go.
All right. Yeah, tune in to Never Give Up. It's gonna be coming up soon. Let's see if KBR can
shout outs
actually
to New
win
York.
this time.
Shout outs to New York too.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, I wanted to give a big shout outs to New York, specifically Javi Baby. He for those of you on Facebook, you should definitely try and friend this dude on Facebook because he is streaming nonstop and he's trying to do this thing called Where's Marvel, where he basically plugs his portable setup to like all these scenic parts of he played on like the Brooklyn Bridge. He played at one point, and while he was streaming, his streaming equipment, or I think his phone got ran over mid-stream. Is that correct?
I actually talked to him. He first did it at ECT. Like he couldn't play. Like he couldn't find a room, so he just played outside. So that gave him the idea to like play at. He brought a setup to Times Square, and then and he was playing at Times Square. Yeah, and then he played at the Brooklyn Bridge. And apparently it like there was a gust of wind that like his phone just fell in traffic and it got run over.
That's crazy.
It was
Apparently he's gonna continue doing it. He told me. I think they did that yesterday with the money match, right?
Yeah, like I was gonna say that too. Like big shouts to him and all like a lot of the New York scene because they're still trying to keep Marvel pretty damn alive. Like the new squad, not necessarily new, but more so like the up and comers like No Life, Cosmos is kind of like the head of the pack of all that. They've been kind of rising up and trying to like put Marvel on their back. And Javi Baby actually live streamed through his Facebook high stakes money match between No Life and Coach Steve. We had a bunch of people in the Facebook chat as was going on. I was there for a good bit, and everybody was just like flying off with side bet money and all sorts of stuff. It was pretty hype. Score was actually 10-8, No Life's favor.
Wow.
It was pretty.
No Life is ridiculous. Crazy. I'm telling you, he's getting good. He's getting good.
And I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Coach Steve was not necessarily in the best shape of his life in Marvel. The rust showed, especially when I think the score was like 8-8, and he gets a bionic arm on Virgil, messes up the confirm, and then Virgil he let Virgil happen a lot, which was unfortunate. But regardless, they're keeping the hype alive with money matches, and that's something we're gonna try and cover more as we go on with the show. So keep trying to take money from each other, guys, because that's kind of in the spirit of Marvel, along with a lot of other things. But yeah, huge up to New York. And Marcus, do you have any shout-outs?
I mean, obviously, shout-outs to you guys. Shout-outs to everybody watching. Shout-outs to people still playing this game. And shout-outs to KIT.
KIT. Kyle, you got anything?
Shout outs to Push to Talk because I almost started talking without that. I don't know. Shout outs to everyone in the stream chat that's always watching, and of course, shout outs to shout outs.
Shout outs to top tier. All right. Well, with that said, thanks for bearing with me hosting kind of interim. Hayden, can you like speak for a little bit because he's here with us? He's just kind of manning all the stuff.
Yeah.
Let's give Hayden just a little bit of a shout out.
Can we make Kinder Party give a shout out to that dude that's always on Twitter, that dude Gay Fetus?
Shout out to Gay Fetus.
No, definitely
not.
I
mean,
yeah, he needs to push to talk.
Nah. Shout out to Gay Fetus, man. My throat is really sore, but thanks to everybody who watched tonight, and I appreciate you tuning in. And Tassif, you did a great job, and I just want to say, Brandon, I'm super proud of you, man. Keep doing it, dude. Keep doing it.
All right. Well, we've heard it from our fearless leader. With all that said, This was Marvel Live this week. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.